I thought it would be fun to look at some of the big differences between the Apple of today and the Apple of a year plus ago, and how the business has changed a little bit, some segments that are now a little bit more relevant than they had been in the past, just kind of take stock of where things are. So over the last 12 months, Apple's actually down 20%, which is crazy.
Yeah, we're not loving that, huh?
No, especially as someone that has added to my position during that period. But
did he catch the high or catch?
I caught bits of both. So
Okay,
dollar cost
okay.
average,
Yep.
right? Always continue to buy and make sure that you're working down that dollar cost average. But
Very foolish.
Yes, of course. Compared to the previous 12 months, they were up over 60%.
Sure.
And so there was a period where it was very hard to be down on an Apple position. And obviously the story's changed a little bit there. I think looking at things to be very optimistic about as an investor, from this most recent report, the services segment has to be one of them.
Yep.
And this is, of course, the segment of their business that houses App Store, Apple Music, Apple Pay, just to name a few. They revealed that this is their second largest revenue driver,
Yeah.
which blows my mind. I didn't realize that it was getting that big, and I think a lot of people were kind of surprised by that number. But it provided $6 billion last quarter, which was up 20%. And one of the things that showed, I think, that there's going to be kind of an increased emphasis moving forward on this is in the conference call, they described this new non-GAAP metric, and they're calling it the purchase value of services tied to our installed base. And for last quarter, that was $9.9 billion. If that's not a sexy accounting name, I don't know what is.
Is that an official GAAP legal language?
No, they had to like somehow curve that in. But yeah, so this is
It is a good metric though. I really like that they're breaking it out.
Yeah, and so this is essentially the value of stuff that their service segment is facilitating.
Sure.
Because, and the reason they have to create this metric is because there are a couple different accounting approaches for the different segments. Some of them run on a gross accounting, and some of them run on net accounting in terms of what actually shows up in the financial statements. And so this is done to just kind of clean up all of that. You hinted at this earlier. A couple things for investors here. One of them is this segment operates in kind of a different margin profile than what you'd expect with the hardware business, right?
Yep. Yeah, I mean, it's essentially an asset-light business where there are high margins that accompany it. But you also have to put it in the context. You said it exactly there. About $6 billion worth of revenue.
And I think it was 9.9 of facilitated transactions.
Yeah.
So like that new non-GAAP number is 9.9. The
Exactly.
actual revenue is 6.
And then you put that in the context of the iPhone and so forth. And you start to see how it will actually affect the margins. So it's not a huge driver, but it's definitely, I mean, could Apple add 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 of these businesses over time? Sure. Add some margins, get a couple billion out of them. That sounds hilarious when you think about it. But
Yeah.
it definitely is something to consider. Apple Pay, the actual gross purchase volume is up, but put it in context of the payments market as a whole, I believe Apple is around $9 billion in payment volume. PayPal over the December quarter, not matching up exactly, was above $80 billion.
Oh, wow.
So there's definitely
a lot of room there.
Yeah, there's room to grow there. And the important thing, which I think is definitely necessary to focus on, is the Apple ecosystem. And Tim Cook hit upon it in the call. And essentially, you look at, okay, you hold your iPhone, it can really do everything. And what it's doing at this point is nothing compared to what it eventually can do. It doesn't control your home, doesn't control your car, doesn't control your desktop computer, doesn't control your life, everything around you when it comes down to it. And those are businesses that Apple very well could get into and essentially generate more revenue from the ecosystem, because I mean, it's just like telecom. It's once you're locked in, it's a pain in the butt to change.
Yeah, I am an entrenched Mac user, iOS user, and like I love having it all in one place. I love being fully integrated.
Yeah.
I am going to change out of that with just like dragging, kicking, and screaming. I'm going to hate it if I ever do.
You are what the financial world would call a sticky customer.
Yes.
And that's exactly what Apple has within their ecosystem. And there is value to it, and it seems like they're recognizing that with the new metric, to seeing what value this creates, subsequent knock-on events and so forth. So I like that they're breaking it out, but also put it in context. And if you're looking for significant growth to hit Apple, the company as a whole, from these businesses, let's wait a little bit and see.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It is another way to enhance the value of that 1 billion installed base that they have, right?
Yep.
And so it is a tack on there. Hopefully they can monetize that group a little bit
Yeah, I
more.
mean, healthcare stuff, that's something that hasn't even been tapped into at all. No, I don't think Apple even knows exactly what they want to do with it at this point, but there's definitely a lot of potential there.